Hey, grown black folks talk. I'm making a quick selection of things to talk about while I'm on this beautiful day out in the park. I took a good subscriber question from the MAR JLP 914, and now I'm going to deal with a bad subscriber question. No name given, of course. There are a certain number of men who think that if you critique anything that some men are doing, you don't like men. Which is the question of, do you even like men? I didn't answer it at the time. Because I'm just kind of like, if you don't understand, I can't help you. Please take therapy, life coaching, the resource in the description. You're either going to figure it out or you're not. But I thought about it. Not because it bothered me, but because I know it illustrated something else, and I'm finally ready to talk about why that question is just so revealing. And it reveals a lot about how we operate on a daily basis and why we can't get anywhere, because the universe actually does not operate on the principles of bigotry. Do you have any idea how many men there are just in the United States of America? Any idea? And if you don't, that's fine. That's Googleable. But we'll bring that down. Do you have any idea how many there are in the world? That's Googleable. Okay? I don't require that you know that. That's not the cause of admission. But the point I'm making here is the bigotry that it requires to even... We're so adjusted to this level of bigotry in the United States that we're going to make an assumption about what someone thinks about that many people. The reality is, I don't know all men. I don't know all the men in the United States. I don't know all the men in the world. I don't know all of the men in my city. I don't even know all the men in my neighborhood. The Western Addition has approximately 6,700 men living here. 6,700 people living here. So 3,250 men, if it's roughly even. We'll make it 3,200, 3,300 to make it roughly even. I walk around here every single day, from Western Addition into the adjacent neighborhoods, almost every single day, 5 to 7 times a week. I meet new people every day in just this locale. There's maybe 10,000 people living around me, counting all the adjacent neighborhoods that I walk into sometimes. There's 10,000 people around me. Well, no, maybe 15,000. 10, 15, maybe 20,000 people living around me. Daytime, you also have all the people working. So that number could maybe be 50,000 people. You know how I meet and see new people every day? It's very rare that I meet the same people in just this small 2.5 mile walking radius that I have. It's very rare that I'm going to meet the same people. I can walk from here to the biggest street around, which is Market Street. I can do it. Yeah, that's a big extension. I can do it. And I can get from here to, the other end, probably the furthest I have, 6th Avenue, 4th, 5th, 6th Avenue. Okay. So as far as I can go, I don't normally, and of course going around these hills. I got one Buena Vista to the south, Alamo Square to the east, and Anza Vista to the north of me. So let's say I do all that. I don't even meet the same people every day. I don't know all the people in my neighborhood. I don't know all the people that live on my block. So I don't have the data available, since liking is an emotional response. I don't have enough data to say whether or not I even like all the men in my block. To say nothing of my neighborhood, to say nothing of my city, to say nothing of the United States, my state. There's 40 million people in California, assuming rough parity, 20 million men. To say nothing of my nation, 165 million men, assuming rough parity. And the world. We know this number is about 3.9. There's actually more men in the world than women at the moment. 3.95, something or other. It's above 3.9. It's definitely, as the community of anime watchers would say, it's over 9,000. I don't know these people. So how am I going to be able to answer? The answer to the question is, do you even like men? The ones I choose to be around, I like them, which is why they're around. Most of the rest, I don't know. But see, we're so lost in bigotry. I see men online talking about, I don't even like women, and coming up with all kinds of different wild men, women. I'm like, you know, maybe 200 women, and all of them you chose to deal with. It's not the rest of our faults that the circle that you're in is weak. That has to do with you, sir. Choose better. And the same goes for the women. But see, asking a question like that does not take us to the point that we can look at, okay, what is our part? The things we grew up with, we can't help. Okay? Households we grew up with. What patterns are we taking from that cause us to select the wrong people consistently? What addictions do we have? And I'm not even talking about drugs. I'm talking about codependent behavior do we have that make us likely to keep choosing the same codependent patterns? If I am an empath, then am I aware that narcissists are going to be drawn to me like moths to a light, and there are things I have to learn how to recognize to protect myself? If I am an empath, and there appear to be more empath women than men, what do I do to protect my emotions from people who are just average folks who want somewhere to relieve themselves by downloading their emotions? By the way, doesn't that sound very similar about how men use women to relieve their stress by downloading it into our bodies? I'm just saying. If this is the actual world that I live in, and see, the thing about it is the tools of bigotry do not give you the tools to actually protect yourself. Because here's the thing. Humans need humans. People need people. So most of us, what we do is we operate in our bigotry, then we make an exception for the wrong reasons because we haven't addressed the reasons. And then when things go south, it reinforces our bigotry. And so no healing occurs, no learning occurs, nothing ever gets better. So when you get questions like that, you know, do you even like men? I like the ones I know. It just indicates the bigotry that has been accepted by the person that asked the question more than anything else. And so do all these mass statements about black men and black women going on. It is the extent to which we have been co-opted by the very oppression we say that we hate. There are approximately 18 million black adult women. There are approximately 15 million black adult men, 17, 18 million black women, 13 to 15 million adult black men. And there are some things in the stats that are horrible about both of us. 30 to 33% of those black men are convicted felons, convicted criminals. And approximately a quarter of black women are single mothers. However, being a single mother does not accord to anywhere near the seriousness of being a criminal, convicted felon. Why? Because being a single mother actually is not the handicap that some black men, you know, 1/3 of felons, they would like us to be as handicapped, but that's not true. Particularly in the 21st century economy. However, both of us have sizable numbers of things that have gone on that will impact your life in a negative direction. Because both of them have a massive economic and emotional and social toll. Being a felon is much worse because it's going to hit at your civil rights. And it's going to hit at your ability to ever be hired. And it's going to hit at your assessments of your character forever after, and for good reason. But that is still not the totality. You got 2/3 in the black men that aren't, a clear, easy majority, and 3/4 of black women that aren't, a clear and easy majority. But bigotry will have you thinking that the minority is the representative of the whole. Bigotry will have you out here not understanding that you need to be able to access people as individuals. Bigotry will have you not developing the skills you need to stay out of trouble with individuals, because people can pretend to be one thing and be another. A bigot is the easiest person to con, because all you have to do is pretend to be what the bigot thinks they like. The easiest person to con. because you're not operating in reality. So I have chosen to answer this bad subscriber question in my own time. Do you even like men? I like the ones I know. The vast majority of men in the world, I don't know them to like them or dislike them. And if the person asking it wasn't such a bigot, the answer would have been obvious. Bigotry is not the way, folks. It's just not. It will get you in more trouble. And to go back to, the Kanye West edition of messing around and finding out, bigotry will have you out there thinking you can pick fights you can't pick because you haven't really learned about the characteristics of the people you're talking about. You just are operating from bigotry. See, it's one thing when you think somebody is bad. The second but it's another thing when you find out that you haven't studied enough to know that they're too bad for you to have your mouth on them. Bigotry is not the way, y'all. And I chose to answer that question several months removed in the way I wanted to answer it so that we can get our heads on straight about this. All right. Y'all have a good day now. Goodbye. Thank you for listening.